Everybody, and welcome to Reads. I'm your host, Ryan Reed, creative webmaster of The Purple Quiver. Please check it out, thepurplequiver.blogspot.com. And speaking of which, I know I promised I was going to talk about Green Lantern and what was coming up for the book, but I decided to table that for another week or two here because there's so much more coming up with the book, and I'm waiting until the Indigo Tribe storyline ends here in a couple weeks. So I've decided, since I've got purple behind me and I've talked about the Purple Quiver so much, we need to talk about, of course, Hawkeye himself. That's right, Clint Barton himself. Yes, the Earth's mightiest archer. Well, as you know, I had started the Purple Quiver about a couple months ago and everything, originally because, unfortunately, my previous blogs had lost interest in time and I just wasn't having the motivation to work on them. So I decided to condense it into something I was a little more happier with. And with the upcoming series Hawkeye by Matt Fraction and Al Jamar, I've decided to work on Hawkeye. And the truth is, Hawkeye's everywhere. Now, thanks to the Avengers movie, which is now almost the third biggest movie ever created, beating Dark Knight now, Hawkeye's getting a lot more press here. There's even been talk about possibly doing a Hawkeye movie in a couple of years, which I hope is true. And with his own series coming up, as well as so much spotlight on him and other writers' favoritism, especially Kurt Busiek, Fabian Nicarez, as well as Jeff Johns, who was a huge Hawkeye fan, and Chris Claremont and John Byrne, and of course, who could forget, of course, Marv Wolfman. So, I almost forgot Roger Stern. How could we have Hawkeye without Roger Stern? Exactly. So I just want to talk about it. I've actually always loved the character of Hawkeye for many, many years. He's been an enjoyable character. Like I said, I always thought of him as Robin Hood, and I was a fan of both him and Green Arrow for DC Comics. And about 20 years ago, back in high school, I kind of dabbled a little bit in archery, and I've talked about bringing it up a little bit more, once things change with my new job and everything. So I do love the character, and I thought his interpretation of both the Thor and the Avengers movie was very well done by John Connery. So I think Hawkeye is really his time is now and everything. Now, his current costume I can live with because, yeah, it's based off the Ultimate version. But the truth is, if you look at Hawkeye's 90s outfit before the Heroes Reborn, it was almost the same costume, except he just had a regular face mask and his hair was all out. But I mean, it was almost Clint's whole look and everything else too. And after the success of Green Arrow on Smallville, as well as the upcoming Arrow series in the fall, which I recommend everybody watching it because it looks very good. But as for old Clint here, I have to say the character is just so well defined. I mean, for somebody who got mistaken as a villain, who grew up in the circus, missing his parents, his brother who used to be on his side and then turned into a jerk and is now been trying to replace him for the last year, not to mention his allies of the original Trick Shot as well as the original Swordsman here. He's faced a lot of betrayals as well as the death, or we thought death, of Mockingbird, his ex-wife, and now him, of course, relationship with the Black Widow as well as currently with Spider-Woman. Clint has always been the do as you please, improvise the idea, and just be tough as nails and do what you can to save the day without too compromising his morals. Despite what has happened to him since 2004 with Avengers Disassembled, I believe it was more warranted because let's face it, if you go through all the stuff from being altered personality-wise, dying, coming back to life, then being killed again, then coming back to life, you don't think you would lose your sanity? Yeah, not too shocked there. And with Kate Bishop over in Young Avengers, and she's going to be part of the new Hawkeye series. I think Hawkeye is really just finally getting his due again that he hasn't had since the late 90s when after Heroes Reborn ended and Hawkeye took over as leader of the Thunderbolts. So the truth is there's just so much to talk about with Hawkeye, and that's why I highly recommend my blog, The Purple Quiver, because it allows you to focus more as well as seeing cartoons, little news bits, talk about his Rogues Gallery, his upcoming new series, and as well as his part in the Secret Avengers with the upcoming new Masters of Evil. So there's just so much to cover about Hawkeye. So I just thought I'd take a few minutes here just to chat about how much I love the character. Thank so many writers and artists for making him such a wonderful, popular character, especially Stan Lee back in the day, as well as Jack Kirby and Mark Wingwall. So, you know what? We love you, Clint. Thank you so much for making all us fanboys happy and making us root for the guy with a bow and arrow because he is truly our Hawkeye. So that will do it for today. I will see everybody later, and I promise I will talk about Green Lantern. And everybody, I hope has a wonderful beginning of the summer. Later.